Welcome back, guys. My name is Blue, and I will be your intermediate guide in this journey of being a machinist. Machinist is a job that has been in the roller coaster of Final Fantasy XIV's job changes. With great tweaks and additions to this day, it is a more concrete and complete job by far. A job added in the first expansion, Heavensward, Machinist is one of the three physical range DPS, self-centered with high damage output. His abilities now are similar to what a true master of guns and machines could be, using different gadgets and weapons to destroy the mobs. To start with a machinist and what he can bring to the party support-wise, it is just one ability shared with other physical range DPS, each one with a different name. In machinist's case, is called Tactician. This ability reduces self and near party members' incoming damage by 10% with a duration of 15 seconds. I usually use this in hard-hitting AoEs to the party. Another key action that grasps within the good playing of a DPS is one skill that helps tanks and almost no one uses it. Head Gaze. This ability interrupts a target's action. This helps a lot with some high-level pulls so you can know which abilities can be interrupted, helping your tank by reducing damage, and they will appreciate it and your party will flow easily. Getting that out of the way, we can start talking about what makes this version 3.0 Machinist the best update to this day. As many other jobs, Machinist has abilities that evolve with your level, so for these video purposes we are going to talk about with level 80 on mind. We can now talk about the gauges. Machinist has two gauges to fill, heat and battery. Heat gauge is filled with your standard single target combo of heated split shot, heated slug shot, and heated clean shot. Each shot adds 5 points to the gauge. Another skill that helps fill the gauge but with multiple targets is spread shot. That each attack also creates 5 points of heat. As well, you can have barrel stabilizer that grants 50 heat gauge while in combat with a 120 second cooldown. Each time you get 50 heat, you can activate your skill Hypercharge. This skill puts you on an overheated state in which your single target skill's potency is increased by 20 in an 8-second window. In this state, you will have access to two abilities. Heat Blast, a 200 potency single target attack with a recast time of 1.5 seconds, giving you chance to get 4 of this skill and 5 with Great Ping. Reduces Gauss round and ricochet cooldowns by 15 seconds. Auto Crossbow, a 108 potency common attack, also with 1.5 recast time in seconds. We will go in depth when we get to the rotations. Now, the battery gauge. It is filled with two skills. Hot Shot, that becomes Air Anchor, potency of 700 with 40 seconds of global cooldown that generates 20 battery points. Heated Clean Shot, the last chain of your basic combo with a combo chain potency of 300 and generates 10 battery with a successful combo chain. The battery gauge can be spent at 50 to summon a Rook Auto Turret that at level 80 evolves into the Automaton Queen that can be summoned up to 20 seconds when you exceed the normal battery cost. If you use 100, you will get a 20-second life spawn of this Automaton Queen. A thing to take on count is that even though it is summoned for 20 seconds, 5 seconds of those 20 are used in the Revel animation. For the Rook Auto Turret, the maximum is 15 seconds without any arrival animations to get your seconds off. The attacks of the Automaton Queen are automatic, except for Queen Overdrive. This makes the Automaton Queen use an 800 potency ability called Pile Driver that when executed shuts down the queens no matter the time left. If you don't use it, Pile Bunker will be used automatically before shutting down. The potency of Pile Bunker increases as the battery gauge exceeds the cost of the time of the summon. Now that we have the main idea of the gauges and the use of them, we can now look at the rotations. The single target rotations. First, to build up your gauge. I usually use Reassemble, that is a granted critical hit, Air Anchor, then Drill, Heated Split Shot, Heated Slug Shot, and Heated Clean Shot. You can repeat the combo chain until Reassemble and Air Anchor or Drill are available. Use Drill and Air Anchor in a way both cooldowns are maximum 1 second apart. Air Anchor has a cooldown of 40 seconds and Drill of 20, so you can use first Drill and Air Anchor or vice versa. You try to use them both in order to keep them at the same time up. With your gauge filled, usually at the start of a boss fight, I use Automaton Queen, then Heated Split Shot, Heated Slug Shot in the meantime till Automaton Queen has like 10 seconds left. Then I use Wildfire, Hypercharge, Heat Blast, Gauss Round. I use this Heat Blast and Gauss Round 3 times. Then I use Heat Blast and Ricochet. Then I use Heat Blast and Gauss Round one more time. And then I use Reassembled Rear Anchor Overheat. And then again Heat Blast. And when I finish that combo again, I use Barrel Stabilizer as I get 50. And then again I can use Overheat. Then we can pass now to multiple targets. When you have 2 targets, you can do your basic combo and alternate with Spread Shot for you to gain those 10 battery points you get from Heat Clean Shot. If you do Hypercharge, do Heat Blast to the 2 targets. When you have 3 or more targets, I use Reassemble, Bio Blaster, Flamethrower, and Spread Shot. Until I can have Bio Blaster and Flamethrower, I will use continuously Spread Shot. Bio Blaster delivers an attack with a potency of 60 to all enemies in a cone before you. An additional effect is damage over time with a potency of 60 with a duration of 15 seconds, and it shares a recast timer with Drill. Then we have Flamethrower, that it's a damage over time with 12 enemies in a cone before you, with a potency of 100. It has a duration of 10 seconds, but you have to face the enemies for it to have effect, and you don't have to move. If you move, you will cancel the animation and therefore you will cancel the attack. If you use Hypercharge in a multiple target situation, you will have to do Auto Crossbow and Ricochet. If you want to reduce Ricochet cooldown again, I will change the last Auto Crossbow for a Heat Blast. Remember that Ricochet and Gauss Round are 2 charged abilities. This is a new mechanic introduced in Shadowbringers. This means that Ricochet and Gauss Round have their own cooldown and they can be used 3 times in a row at level 80. So when you use Heat Blast, you reduce that unique cooldown for them by 15 seconds. Then, when you're in big pools, try to use Air Anchor for you to gain the battery gauge and avoid waiting time trying to fill it in a boss fight. For the final notes of this video, I would like to talk about the pros and cons of Machinist. The pros I can find is high damage, AOE management, and being straightforward, with small mechanics that if you catch up, you can do them well and easily. The cons is that it's a self-centered job, it doesn't give much to other DPS or the party overall, and the ping dependent for maximum damage. If you don't have a great latency, you cannot use the 5 Heat Blast or Auto Crossbows, as you have a small window to make them all. So you have to manage between your times to have a maximum output damage. This I think is a very heavy con if you want to use Machinist, as I think is the lowest among the self-centered DPS like Samurai and Black Mage. I think Square Enix can give some love to Machinist to get them up there and compensate for that ping or latency and to be worth it of damage within self-centered. Now this is basically the intermediate guide for Machinist. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments below and how we can make this better or your strategies as a Machinist. Subscribe and follow us on our social media and Twitch channel, descriptions down below. We hope this video was useful and we will see you on the next time. Until then, have a good one.